Testing, testing. One, two, three. All right, I think we're good now. We should be all right. Share screen. And there we go. Got a new headset, so uh, hopefully, it won't pick up on every little sound. But we'll start from the top. Yesterday was a trend day. Even though yesterday, it was interesting because Nvidia was very weak to start the day and didn't really get going until the 15-minute EQ broke bull, and QQQ and company just kind of like just kept on chugging really. So with this bounce, we are opening towards a high of a range here. Now, we have monthly consolidation. Now, what I'm interested in, like really interested in, is going to be this level up here. Because this would be where the weekly bears might look to step in up here to try to prevent it from being um, a big weekly bounce. And they don't really have much room to like conduct this bad boy. Like they have to make it work pretty fast. So it's going to be interesting for sure. And unfortunately, it's going to be one of those days where Friday might be an interesting day. So after Thanksgiving, so you might need to be ready to go. But looking up here, and I'll be watching like we'll be watching the daily or the 4 hour to see if there's like a trend change, right? Like to see if there's like a potentially some sort of weird type of 4 hour cup and handle type deal that would be forming, or a head and shoulders or something. And I could see it definitely setting up that way, right? You have shoulder here, the head here. You get back up here, you form another shoulder. There you go. There's your weekly consolidation starting, right? So that's definitely something that can happen. And the real question is, if that does happen, how much of this does the Bulls, be able to make this thing bounce to a point where a most likely scenario is going to be a higher low on the weekly, which then it becomes interesting. We might get this super choppy range to the end of the year. It's also a possibility. So interesting from that point of view. So I want to keep our mind open about that. As for today, we are opening still at the high. There was a bit of a pullback here. Now there definitely is a range here. I've been having issues with it because it's different from the Nasdaq than it is on QQQ for whatever reason. This is probably the range that I want it to be. But if I use this big boy, which I should, it then changes to that. So this is what it should be though, based off of what it looks like on the Nasdaq. See if I use on the NASDAQ, there you go. So it's a little bit difficult. But I'll throw it there anyways, just because I think it's important. And we can zoom in and see how yesterday sort of went. So this was the clues for yesterday. We had this big move up right away into range. Did I have this lined up differently yesterday? Could have swore I had this lined up differently yesterday. Maybe not. Anyways, right off the jump here, we broke right back into this range here. So a nice target from that point. Definitely when you have the back test of the Valley area low with the moving average right there. Get back to the POC. Then you get over the POC here and you start trading sideways. That's always bullish as well. And it kind of just trends up a little bit. So I think my levels were a little bit off yesterday. I always get a little bit worried about my levels in situations like that. Definitely with these, because one candle can change it a little bit, and then so you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to be cautious. But you can see the biggest volume node is like right down here. So, but you have to price in all this price action as well at this point. So it's changed. It's definitely changed. Anyways, so for today, if we're using this range here, what are the goals of both the bulls and the bears? Well, the bulls want to stay over the POC. It's that simple. Bulls want to stay over the POC. They want to get over the Valley area high, and they want to attack this level of interest. This is a multiple tops level, so this level has to be changed to. Hey, it's supposed to have a. It's supposed to have something else in it. Guess I gotta reload it then. Posture sucks. All right. There we go. That's what we want with the daily border. Okay. This is a multiple touch range as a resistance level. Hi, Birdie. Oh, Birdie, so. All right, so we know the daily lower high most likely scenario. We are over the daily EMA 12, which is important. Hourly is in an uptrend. After this, higher low, higher high. And you can see like the morning we just confirmed this whatever this pattern was. It was more of a On Tesla, it was more of a head and shoulders type deal, inverse head and shoulders. But you can see this was a top, bursted right through and didn't stop. So we have a lot of room. A lot of room to form a higher low. But I'm not going to lie, it just seems like, I mean, this technically was a bull flag with no follow through. So this is one of those instances where, yes, the trend is important, but there's a battle going on right here at this daily level still that has been ran through quite a lot already, but I still think it holds water. So if you want to keep it simple, you could use the pre-market low as a line in the sand as it lines up very similar to the 602.20 level or around that POC. So I think that is an important level, a level for the bulls to hold. Even if they break through, they can get back over it as fast as possible, etc. What you don't want to see is you don't want to see bears break back down underneath its value area low. That would be like the biggest red flag. But a big red flag, a red flag would be to lose the POC. And a red flag for bears would be for them to lose the value area high, which would then also be a new high of day, etc., just like yesterday. So definitely an interesting spot. But once again, if you want to keep it simple, pre-market low, and then understand that we're trading on the upper side of this daily candle, and the daily lower high cannot be set today unless 595 is broken. So just from that point of view, unless it's a really crazy bear day, you're not going to get a huge move down unless it's just like I mean, like, let's be honest, actually, the type of days that we've been having for bears have been actually quite profound. This candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. So can we have a big pullback? Absolutely. From a change perspective, though, unless 2595 is broken, there is no significant change. But it still could be a really red day because there's a lot going on in yesterday's candle. And also, with that said, there wasn't a lot of resistance or support built up on the way up. This is old support. This POC value area low. This is old stuff. So it might not even be that good of a like levels to play off of. Actually, they're probably terrible levels to play off of at this point. Something that I need to start utilizing in my own trading is to say something like, "Hey, these levels are good for gauging where you think the market is, who's winning and who's losing, but not making plays off of that level anymore." I think that's very important. So like here, oh, we broke over the value area high. Okay, I'm looking for longs. Oh, we broke over the POC. Okay, I'm looking for longs. Or we're back up at the POC. I'm looking for shorts potentially. Let's see what SPY is looking like. So SPY is a little bit different, stronger. I guess I want to redo this too, just because I want to make sure that I'm staying within my rule set, which is this is the high, this is the low, and all of this is in the range. So for me personally, I just want to get all this in the range. See, it does the same thing. I don't want to. It's very hard to disregard this candle because it has so much volume attached to it. But if you disregard that candle, oh, it doesn't even matter. Wow. Like I don't want to be doing. See, like I know Lamont likes to drag the whole thing, but like I it gets too confusing when you do things like that because this is actually a higher high. So how would this be a part of an older range? Like it just wouldn't be, right? The range is like a consolidation in a sense, unless I'm thinking about it wrong. But the way I think he pulled it was like from here to here. Yeah, and that's where he pulled it. Which I mean it makes some sense for sure. Because you have the move up. I guess you know what? You can make a case that but still though, because this is the move up, and then this is the move down, and this is the move up. So maybe you're basically saying I'm collecting everything from okay, maybe that's what he said. Yes, maybe that's what it is. He says this is the high, this is the low. I'm collecting everything from back to front to this level. So this is the high, this is the low. I'm collecting from back, everything from the back to the front. Anything that closes within that. Okay, so then grab this, grab that. That makes a little bit more sense. Not so much price action, the candlesticks as what they look like, but the overall outcome. So I can get down with that. I can get down with that. Plus, the more info, the better. You know what I mean? Okay. And you could see yesterday. It was actually battling this POC early. Bull move right off the jump. Rejection from regular. I don't know what the rejection was from. Got a lower low, no follow through. Boom. There's your sideways range, and then up. Oh no, that was the high of yesterday. It rejection from the high of yesterday. Then yeah. All right, SPY opening towards highs. So looking pretty good. We have a good understanding of what everything wants to do. Da, da, da. And you can see this move up here. It looks very different because this is a sideways and up, sideways and up. So on SPY, this range here is a small range that price needs to get close. So what you want to see is you want to see supply built up, which is here. And you want to see a break of this structure. That's what you want to see as a bear. Okay, let's go into the fangs. Let me see if this overlay thing looks. Let me see this real fast. Wait, that one. Hmm. Okay. Take out Google. Wow, Google's still fucking chugging. What is going on? This is crazy, dude. I mean, Google's been strong, but my lord. Up another 4% pre-market. 10% in 2 days for Google. Yuck. I mean, gap up, give it all back, inside bar, bull break, no pullback, another gap up, no pull. Like, come on, man. Hard stock to get into. Breaks here, doesn't back test, sideways range here, breaks bear, comes back in. Is your deviation set up here? Doesn't even reach all the way back though. Not the cleanest setup either. Wow. It's funny how Nvidia's down and Google's up. Nvidia got money going into Google. I mean, this stock is just fucking rolling, dude. Rolling, man. You guys like that little monthly stop out before it went nuts, huh? Monthly higher low, higher high, big pullback, stopping out everybody here, and then straight up, not letting anybody in. Oh my god, it's so gross. It's like they want you to think like, oh hey, look, a bear break with no follow through. Most likely scenario is a monthly low or high. That's a great time for bears to look short. Like anything, like people were probably scaling in here, scaling in, scaling in, scaling in, scaling in, looking to play the top here, and just got run the fuck over. Because why wouldn't you? Basic TA tells you it is the first monthly trend change in forever since down here. Okay, so you're looking for a monthly higher, lower high, lower low, and maybe come back and test that level. The crazy part is for the bulls, it doesn't even give. It doesn't even. We're gonna redo this, but it doesn't even give an opportunity. I mean, this is a doji bull break with a wick, not great. Again, not great. I mean, volume is somewhat there, and then you get this bull break here, which is a nice one, but it doesn't have volume on it. So everything you hear about TA is just not here. Like this candle should have been the biggest candle, and it's not. And then the next candle is a little bit better. This is all on very mediocre volume. Look at all that look at all that. Look at all that money coming in last week. But last week was a very, very weird day. Very weird week. A lot of back and forth. Looks like bears were. It was looking like more bear volume than bull volume. All right. Well, what do we got? Yeah. Wow. I mean, the one good thing about this, even if Nvidia is going down and Google is going up, is that there's rotation. Rotation is rotation. Rotation is healthy. So we have a gap up here, second gap up. Psychologically speaking, we're in blue sky, so we're looking at 350. And then 400. Looking for back burners. Let's see if the 5-minute back burner hammered yesterday at all on the gap up. It did not quite get there. I saw this too, and I was like, I saw this and I was like, man, that looks like something. And now that I look at it again, it's bot buying. It was bot buying on the way down, a bot selling, and then this is bot buying. It just looks a certain way, and it's usually hugging a moving average. Not that time though. Maybe the 1 minute. Oh, now I'm way off. Oh darn it. Okay, who cares? And then we just traded up here, and then something happened here. Yeah, this is when interesting. 1745. 1745. Interesting. So there's a weird correlation going on with Google, and that's a fact now. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. I remember Dan the Chartman was mentioning recently about something with like Google, like Nvidia profits going into Google. Like I don't know how he knows this stuff. The guy's like either an angel or a devil. I don't know, man. Holy crap! He just comes out with stuff, and a lot of the time it's just right. Guy's a goddamn prophet. But look at this. I mean, if you want to be very, 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 very simplified with all this, just keep it simple. If until it breaks this line, like you're just not looking bearish at all. There might be a moving average here. Okay, yeah. So just use the 1 hour. There it is. 1 hour EMA 12 is your guide. If 1 hour EMA 12 does not, if price does not get under and close under EMA 12 on the hourly time frame, then there are no red flags whatsoever. And if that does happen, then maybe you look for Nvidia for a bounce. But until then, nope. So we didn't get the first 5 minute back burner. Didn't touch it here. So it's still in play. Still in play. So yeah, if you want to be caught, you want to play a nice play today, as long as it doesn't get to 350 before, because you don't want a rejection from a psychological level. Even 340, I guess, would be a problem. But I'd rather see push down to 5 minute oversold conditions, 5 minute back burner, looking for your hourly high or low. Yeah, that would be a trade for Google that I would be interested in. So Google 5 minute back burner is definitely on the table. And if you don't know what a back burner is, just go to the chart guys. Like I work for them or something, right? Um, but I don't. I just think they're good. And I was with them for a few years, but I wanted to kind of go out on my own and try to be a little bit more responsible with having my own ideas and growing that part of my game instead of relying on other people um, to almost kind of confirm my ideas. So I think it will help, and I'll probably join them again. Oh, I guess Birdie wants me to. Birdie girl. All right, so 5 minute back burner on Google for a day trade. We're also looking for potential swing trades too. I have a few of those lined up. Tesla. Tesla is so annoying. Can somebody answer me a question? Who's trading here at 4 in the morning? Who is this? Who is this right here? because this was the trade I wanted. This was the trade that I wanted. Right here. This one. And look how easy that trade was. Comes right down. You get 5-minute back burner. You get a real extended on the 5-minute chart, probably on the 15-minute as well. You get this 5-minute stair step. You get this nice little 5-minute candle here. You just get a stop buy right here. You put your stop right here with a little bit of a buffer. Boom. And then you're off to the races, looking to get to at least up here, I would say. So, and that's a nice 5-to-1 trade. The reason why this hourly level was the one I was choosing was because you could see that it tapped here, tapped here, tapped here, tapped here. This was a huge level for me. This level, this has a lot of interactions with it. Okay, so I figured when we get above it, a nice little hourly higher low off of that level would be perfect. So yeah, that really freaking stinks. What this move was a measured move for head and shoulders here. I describe this as a head and shoulders. This was the measured move. You could trust me. And I took a trade off of that yesterday. It was an aggressive entry. But you could see that we had some sort of rising wedge here. And one issue that I have with these is sometimes I will get convinced by the EMA here. Right, you see the EMA here. It's the first time it's closed under it in a while, and that could be a play. Like that's obviously a red flag, but it didn't really work out. So two things: one, it's in a range, so EMAs are less, and two, there's no real resistance. The resistance was right here. This is the finish of the measured move. So when I saw this move and I saw this wick, I got in aggressive entry, and I actually held it to 117.11. I think I got out. So I really did make that was quite a nice trade there. I wanted to get in out at this level right here. So took that whole move down. And if you didn't take that whole move down, then it's tough. It's very tough because it doesn't let you do anything else. I guess you get this little lower high here, but these lower highs can be very tough. These lower highs are very tough for me, and I know that I almost feel like being aggressive here is easier. It's higher probability of stop out, but it's easier because at least I have a pattern. I'm playing off of a resistance level. It's when the move happens and then you get this lower high. It tends to be very hard for me to get in because I think the ratios just always suck. And there is that oh, the move's already done with type deal. But if you get in here, where's your lower high? Where are you looking to get to on this lower high? Because you broke the structure here. So maybe here, but that doesn't work out, right? And then maybe the back test of the trend line, well, it doesn't quite get there. You're going to scale in and put your stop up here. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I guess what you want to do is maybe put your stop above this big candle here or above this big candle here. But where do you get in, right? So you get in on the break of this level here. Let's say you put yourself above this candle here. And you barely get, it's not, if you perfectly do it, it's not a great trade. And it's also, you're looking for the hourly higher low, not the hourly lower high. So, but you can see how it actually came back up, tested this level here, and then rejected. There was a lot of volume that came in on that day. But yeah, this sucks. This sucks. I wanted this trade. This is a banger of a trade. Banger of a trade. All right. Well, the measured move is done, so we can get rid of that. I really didn't expect much from Tesla yesterday, so that was my bad. I just thought that it had too much to get over. But you could see that it bursted over this level. It got right back over this level. So the market was strong. It was a trend day. So if you think it's a trend day, I guess you could expect these levels to get broken. If it's not a trend day, they'll probably get rejected. But with the daily downtrend, you know what I mean? Daily downtrend, got to be cautious. Amazon with a great day yesterday as well. Another one that, again, probably could have taken long here, just at least up to the 12 EMA. You had your little, basically your gap and go there. You could have gotten in potentially with very little risk. But those are once again bang bang plays as well. Hey, why don't we go look? Why don't we look to see how much of a bang? Oh yeah, talk about a bang bang, a bang bang play. You got to get on the open. Are you really that confident? Daily downtrend, monthly consolidation for the first time in however long? QQ under its POC. Nvidia weak. Fucking what the hell, huh? What in the hell? Here's your weaker name here. This is weakness here in Microsoft. Microsoft, why are you so weak? Why are you so weak, Microsoft? Why are you so weak? Now, does Microsoft show up today as the bulls take a rest, maybe? $200 moving average, opening towards the low. Not a good look for bulls here. You're like, what about us? Microsoft bulls, what about us? And then you get this nice candle to close, and still now you're opening towards the bottom of the range. One can use the top of the range. What about us? What about us? Good question. Monthly high or low, scout. Check. So here we're seeing a lot of this, but this is a little bit different here because this was a monthly high or low, double top, bear break. That's the problem. So this isn't like a lot of other stocks where you're looking for a monthly high or low and you're up against this bull range here. So you can see that we had this little fake out, you had the bull break, you had this nice little rounded, almost like a nice little rounded top here. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, this is not a good look. The monthly and the weekly are basically very similar. So those traders are on the same wavelength with what they're looking for. And you can see like this little level here got broken by this level here. And you could see the volume on this level on the weekly. It's just not there. Like you want to see more volume. And I'm actually shocked that this got this far. Because look where it came from. It came from all the way at the low here. And then still found a way to get above this level. Talking about a bull not running out of steam. Holy crap. So, with that being said, you have the double top here, which actually, now looking at it, this is a freaking pretty clean. This is a pretty easy trade. Sometimes you just got to zoom out. Because if you're this extended and you see this double top here on this name, and then you break the low of this candle here, just take it down to here. And then you can even say, hey, I think it's going to go even further down. It's going to go down here because it just makes sense. It just makes sense that it would. It needs a little bit more pullback, in my opinion. So, it could go further down. I think there is a trade here. There is definitely an aggressive trade here where you look to back test this level here. Because this, for me, is a clear Keith Jardine level. Sideways range, got over it, back tested it, got way above, held it. And you could say it broke lower here, but there's shares everywhere in this range from top to bottom. So yes, price action showed weakness here. You want to see more from bulls. You want to see more interest, but they're still buying. Buying. Back down. Buying. So not until you got to this gap down where people were like, fuck it, I'm out. Start to the decline. And that's an aggressive entry. That's a very aggressive entry because you're getting in before the actual bear break. So more conservative bears will be looking for a back test here. And at least with something like this kind of back test, unlike the other names, Like, you know that you just don't want it to break above the structure here. Like, you can use this structure as your stop loss. Or you could say, "Okay, I'm getting in here, I'm scaling in now," and then look to play this. But either one is fine. I would say whichever one lines up better with hourly EMA hourly overbought RSI would be the one that I would choose, because then you have another, you have more of an arsenal. The probability increases slightly. So Meta here, Meta is a name that I've been wanting to get into forever, and I really dropped the ball. Um, but I have to respect my rules. So I just didn't think the RR was going to be there with the EMA 12 just kind of pushing price down here. So we could zoom in here. Um, now that we're above this big level here, you can see the fight that happened here. And I was actually looking to go long back down here. It didn't quite get there. Um, but you can see the battle here, and it's back. It's above it now. So this is a huge deal. What I really want to look at is hourly over bought conditions. Okay. So yeah, we were at hourly overbought conditions. That's why I was looking short here on this day, but I was like, the reason I didn't want to look short, and this is something that I'm surprised. Like, I wonder if Google money will go into Meta money, because Meta is one of the few names that is over this November 20th candle. So it's Google. Nope. 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 Yep. Definitely not. Definitely not. And yep. Okay, so three of them. So Apple, Meta, and Google are all over that level. So those are your three. In my opinion, those are your short term strongest names. Long term, you can't say that about Meta. But hourly overbought did not lead to a daily lower high. We're opening higher. So these bulls are clearly freaking very strong. And I'm pretty bummed out that I wasn't able to get in. I mean, here was a clue on Friday. An hourly candle here that completely engulfed. But you're still underneath all of these levels that I personally deemed important. So now we're coming up here to this daily level. Why is this level important to me? Because it's the highest close on this little lower high that led to a lower low. If you look at the hourly time frame, you could also see that it had this sideways range and confirmed it with a back test. So this to me is a level of interest. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Because my level of interest are bull break, back test of a bull break with no follow. So the break and retest level. So that would have been down here. That would have been this guy. This is actually this. So that's where bulls want to get to. Your bulls want to get up here, but they are extended. They are extended. But I don't want to give up on this bad boy. Ah, man, this feels just like the Amazon. When I start to get that feeling, I should just start scaling into the trades. That's what I should do. All right, let's mark up the daily levels here. So clearly we have a gap up open. Gap up rules apply. That could change, but the gap up rules are kind of coinciding with this range here. And again, this is labeled wrong. I need to. So I that's why I developed this one. See, but this is going to be a red because it's a red. There you go. So these are multiple touch levels. Red, red, and then same thing here. This is what I really needed to add so I can know the difference between, because essentially what the other one is if I have this big move, here's your bull break, and now you're looking for potentially this break and retest of this level here. But I wanted to make sure that this is to know that this is just a level of, hey, this used to be resistance and now it could be support. And that would be just that like big one streak. These are representing, you know, multiple touch levels of resistance and support, levels of very much of interest, right? So there's a big difference because I can rely on these levels more than I can the other one. These ones are just as good, in my opinion, as institutional levels, if not better. So here you go. There's your 5 minute back burner. So that one's out of the window. Go for 15-minute back burners way down there. Not going to happen. Ugh, gross. This thing might just shoot right up to this level up here. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to stop. It does not look like it's going to stop. QQQ still holding up. I mean, it's much stronger than QQQ. So Meta is on the list today. We got Google 5 minute back burner. We got Meta. Just hop in. Just hop in right now. Just get in, right? Because eventually it's going to go up. It might pull back, but it's going to get there, right? Who knows? What a name. But 3% move yesterday was a big move. It's either going to get up here or it's going to just fight in here, do this, fake everybody out, come back down here, come down here, do da 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 da. So that's in my opinion what that day is going to be like. I really want to get into the stock, but now I feel like I'm FOMOing in. But the thing was, I didn't want to get into the stock until like this was my buy level right before the big pullback. Oh no, this was my buy level right before the big pullback, wasn't it? Yeah, up here. All right. Well, Meta is definitely on the table. You might just miss out on it. I guess that's okay. Looks like there's some people trading pre-market too. Yeah, I mean, look, people are trading pre-market. Here's your break above. Here's your back test. The volume is there. So it looks like people are trading here at 742. Yeah. I just have this weird thing where I feel like I can't trade it this early. But clearly that's not the case. This thing is just moving. Yuck. That would have obviously been the play. Or even better, the break and then the retest here. So the one thing I have to work out in my head with the break and retest is like this is the same as a break and retest from a bigger structure. But usually on the bigger structures, I'm looking for to zoom in and looking for like a higher low, EMA 12 or a 50-day, and then extended RSI at that level to potentially go long. On these type of plays, you have, again, this is still resistance now turned support. There's no doubt about that. But in my opinion, it's a clear battleground and not something that is um, no, I guess it's the same thing. I guess it's the same thing. I just have to know when I'm trading which is which. I guess is the big question. But I guess there's some similar. All right, let's move on. Nvidia weak, as we know. Weird correlation with Google. I almost got stopped out yesterday, but my thesis was that I don't want to break back above this purple structure. So from that standpoint, I was right. As we broke above the valley area high and got rejected. So I didn't add a position because I pretty much thought I was going to stop out. But now that we're down here, this 15-minute level is not as important anymore. It's a gap down open. My target is down here somewhere. It was the highest move. This is your low. This is your high. This is your bull break. So it's from this to this. Why don't we do a pull? Huh. No way. Interesting. Well, I should have did that yesterday. I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like. So this move came down to the valley area low. This yesterday broke below and held the POC with a 15-minute inside bar bull break. Then we bounced back off, held here, and then we're going down. Isn't that funny? Then you have this weird little head and shoulders type deal. Bear break. I gotta find my stop for this name. Oh, my session expired. So this is definitely the range. But if it breaks out of that range, this is the lowest. All right, so this is the other way I use those other names, right? So this one, this is the lowest. So it's an area of interest, potential supply zone, which is this is the area where this was the close with a wick, and then we got the higher high. So this area is an area of interest for me. Potential target range. These are good for targets. See how important it is to do this on the weekly too? I get so fixated on the daily that I don't look at the weekly, and that is a clear weekly level, almost a gatekeeper. So weakness there. Where is my stop? Hmm. I don't know. Guess we'll figure that one out. But yeah, pretty easy to know. So was this was 2 days ago. So yeah, I mean clearly this is a level that was clear that out now. Clearly this is a level of interest here down at the 172s, but I do think that this thing can go down to the 166 level. PLTR is it showing weakness? It is. This name I just don't know. It's battling versus guy. This guy. Apple rejection off of this high, this range again here. I guess at this point I can just delete this middle one because it's been kind of ran through quite a lot. All right, so let me look at Netflix. Netflix looked good for a long today. So here's what we were talking about before, right? This is what I'm talking about, the level of interest here. This was a high, swing high. We rejected from it. We got above it. Okay, with some conviction. We haven't been back since. Okay, so now we're back at this daily level, looking for a monthly high or low. I mean, I guess you could call this is a little bit tricky here. Monthly high or low. You got Daily is not extended. Not extended, but this is what caught my eye here. Was that we're at this level here. Monthly high or low. What's the fib pull on this? I mean, the fib pull on this is tough because I guess you got to use this guy here. So close to the golden pocket. I mean, it's not perfect, but what I like about it, I'll tell you what I like about it. All of this volume here on the way down here. So look at this volume here, 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 here. Look at all the volume. It's nothing compared to what this volume was here. Okay? This volume just completely annihilates. It's almost like a bearish engulfing volume. And it just happens to be, a big red candle, sort of a doji, and then a green candle that completely covers this candle. And it's back over this range here. Where you say, well, Paul, it just had a low, higher low, lower high, lower low, daily downtrend. Don't you want it to be an uptrend? Yes, the very early entry. So essentially what you want to see is this, that. You want to put your stop below here. And then you're looking to get to, geez, I mean, I guess you can get here. It's only a 1-to-1. It's only a 1-to-1, Paul. Get risk free. And it's only 820. I mean, the buy is now, the spread of the stock is terrible. I actually just remembered that. And now it's actually different now because it got the split. So spread might not be that bad. All right, so we have a Netflix. SLDP is one that I'm looking at too for a short. Why, you ask? Well, we're back here again. This is your swing high. You break through it with a lot of volume. This should have been. I mean, so this is interesting too. A lot of people went along here, got back into range. A lot of people probably went long here, got stopped out, and then the move happened. So it's like it doesn't work here. And I think a lot of it has to do with maybe the fact of how the price action is, right? Because if you look at the trend trading, this is a lower high, lower low, right? So you get the lower high, lower low again. Then you get the trend change and the back test. So a lot of it has to do with the trend on the back test. So that's definitely interesting information. Once the trend's intact here, you get the big move up. And then here you're back down. So once again, you get the trend, you're back down. It's just demoralizing, right? As a bear, you're back into this big range, which is definitely a range from here. This is all a big range, right? So you could even like do it up. And you see that most of the volume is down here. POC is down here. So you can make a case that again, you want to take this little lower high off of the 50-day. And once again, because it's just a zone, you need to have more. So maybe daily lower high scout, some sort of hourly overbought. And then at that point, I guess you could look for the 5 minute. You could look on the 5 minute. You get, or you just start scaling in. That's the part I need to get better at, because I can look for my daily lower high, I can get my hourly overbought conditions, and then what? And then what? Well, you're probably going to have an hourly uptrend. So what you could do is you could look for a 5 minute trend change or a 5 minute to potentially get your hourly consolidation, hopefully the big pullback, and then look for that hourly lower high, lower low. But if I get hourly overbought conditions, looking for a daily lower high against these levels, I want to be looking short. Oracle. Ugh, sorry about that. Oracle. The reason I like Oracle here is because we're looking for a monthly high or low. We're at monthly EMA 12. We're at a monthly level where we had this swing high, broke with big volume, was above it for a few months, and now the higher low is here. We then also are teetering on daily. No, we are daily oversold. So it matches up, right? Everything. So we got the monthly level we're interested in. We got the daily RSI, yada yada. So this is the same thing as SLDP, just the other way around. Now what do you do? Well, you can look for some sort of hourly something. Here's a nice little hourly range here. Tightening range. So hourly range here. Right? That's too dark. But you have this hourly range. So you can play the bull break. Have your stop under the low. I wouldn't bottom fish this though. Not in the hourly. I would if this was a daily, if this was a daily sideways range, I would potentially bottom fish it, but not the hourly, because we're just looking for the daily bounce here. Still a lot of work to do. So you could play that, or you could just wait for some sort of daily candle, bullish engulfing, some sort of like hammer. I think all those are in play. So again, Oracle is definitely a name that I want to be watching today to see if there's any type of bull move. D-Dog is another one. This one would have been for a small day trade, but we are now underneath the POC. So maybe I don't like it as much. And I don't know what the spread is on this thing either. But you can see that we're in this range. I mean, it's not a bad like. I mean, technically speaking, like it's still a daily high or low scout. It's just that you're not buying the top of the range here. You're buying the bottom of the range here, so it's not really ideal. Gave a lot back here. Probably a good bounce potentially at some point, but that knifing 9-day is a quick turnaround. BMNR. The only reason I like BMNR is because of this concoction of a this 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 pattern. I really like this pattern, and it's right at the 200-day. The problem is it's got a nice little smush zone, and I need to be watching Ethereum more so than just BMNR. As much as I like Ethereum bouncing off of this level here, inside bar bull break, it's still up against this 9-day. And the no change level is right here. And I think that it's weaker than Bitcoin. So there's a few reasons not to like that. Okay. Quantum had a big day. I mean, fucking Quantum. I just didn't think yesterday was going to happen, which is, I guess, my bad. But, these candles were something, but there was no volume on them. RGTI, I mean, it had a bear flag. I mean, this, again, like, it's an aggressive entry. There's no support here. QBTS, this is one that I guess I could have gone long on because it did bounce off of this weekly level here. It still had the lower low no follow through, so it's not like you're trending. And then you have IONQ, which same difference here. Kind of looks like the BMNR chart, right? But it's still kind of in the squish zone here. Okay, I'll just do in there. So I did have a trade lined up on Bitcoin yesterday. I just didn't. I was such a non-believer in the market yesterday, for whatever reason, that I saw this setup and I didn't even take it. Which was this little level here. You had the bear break here with no follow through, and at that point I'm like, oh, okay, that's definitely because I wanted to see the back test of this level, but for whatever reason I wanted to see a break. I wanted to see some sort of like fake out, and that was the fake out. Saw the doji, and I was like, okay, this could be a really nice long, looking to get to the no change level. And you can see that it ended up just getting to the no change level and then getting give it back. And the trade would have been on IBIT. So Bitcoin again here from a daily perspective, just still not looking great. Like it did crack through this level, like this little guy here. So it did stop out all of these people that were right here, and then it looked like big institutional buying came in. So it stopped everybody out, and then the buying happened. So liquidation sweep. How far can they push this up is the question. Having trouble with the no change level. And again, until it gets into this level here, there's no significant change. Why? Well, because it was the last lower high, lower low. So this is a swing high. This is an important swing high because it got the lower low with no follow through with volume. Okay, so this is an important swing high, but this is the no change. So the reason why this is a no change, based off of what you want to say, okay, why is it no change? What does that even mean? It basically means that no matter, even if they do all of this, like it's just kind of mindless price action. And I guess it changes a little bit with this guy right here, but this is the structure. And in order to, invalidate all of this, the bulls need to get back in this. So if they can get back in and hold above this no change level, they're essentially invalidating or doing their best to invalidate that level, all of this price action. And then if it can get over the swing high, then once again, that is real. That ends up being like, okay, a really big price action thing. We're in the sense where, okay, this was the last strong swing high. We're above it now. Now we're in control. And then it would kind of flip on its head. So it's like, let's say we get up here and then we do the higher low, higher high. Then this would be the no change level. And this would be the level that the bears would want to break. But again, until they get over this, and still, even if they get over this, it's like still an aggressive entry to get to back to this level. I think if we shoot straight up here, there's probably a nice short there. As of right now, I really wouldn't know how to trade this one. Energy names are all over the place. I try not to use TA with energy too much because honestly, like it just does what it wants to do. The only thing about energy that I know is that it respects the moving averages pretty well. But as for like TA, it will just do whatever the fuck it wants to do a lot of the time. Gold here, breaking bull out of this little wedge here, having trouble with this range here. I mean, gold actually is starting to look pretty good here. But this is definitely the shot where the bears. This is where bears like this is, in my opinion, a spot where bears will look to short here because you have this sideways range. You have this bull break, no follow through. So this is the overhead. This is the weak bulls here, and then it's a deviation. It's a deviation high. And where do you want to go short on deviation highs? You want to go short either buying the break, which is way here, which would have been very, very risky, and a lot of people probably didn't take that trade. And then here, it's a little bit early, though, right? Like you didn't quite get, you're using this guy, not the value area high, not this as a stop. You're probably using this guy with this as above as a stop. So here is where the very patient traders are saying to themselves, okay, here with your stop above here. Or maybe you start scaling it a little bit. It's dangerous, but what you're basically looking for here is a rejection from here, back down, chop, 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 and back down. Looking for monthly consolidation. Was there something on 830? Core PPI. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Gonna keep an eye on the market here. This might give us our 5 minute Google play. It could also switch the market dynamic as well to bearish. So we'll see. But hopefully you enjoyed the stream. I will talk to you all later. Bye.